They call me Bond. Investment bond. Shaken, not stirred. And a little bit of interest on top. Hey there, welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna be talking about what is a bond. It's a very basic investment principle, but it's one that you need to understand as you are stepping into the driver's seat of your finances. You need to know what are the different investment options. So I'm gonna break it down very simply in under 3 minutes. Before we get into that, don't forget to take off that proverbial coat. Go ahead and click subscribe and stay a while. Okay, so what is a bond? I believe that the best learning happens when we make similes and metaphors. And so I'm going to make a very simple comparison between a bond and a little black dress. That classic dress that most women have in their closet. And oh my goodness, I'm wearing one today. A bond is like an IOU. It's lending money to a company in hopes that they use it well and give it back with interest attached to it. It's not a stock. You don't have ownership of that company. You're just letting them use your money. Likewise, you have that favorite little black dress in your closet. And you've got several friends that might be the same size as you, and maybe one of them wants to borrow that dress from you. So in this example, we'll say that we are lending a little black dress to a friend in return for some interest, which we will call cake, because everybody likes cake. There are a couple different factors in this lending process. You want to lend your little black dress, but number one, you have to figure out which of your friends are less risky or more risky to lend to. You might have some friends that are rock solid. You know, you give it to them on a Saturday, they're going to return it by Monday, and it's going to be pressed and cleaned. Great friend to lend to, super easy transaction. You're probably not going to need much cake from them. However, you probably have those other friends that you can think of that, well, first of all, you're not quite sure when you're going to get that dress back. Additionally, you're not quite sure what state that dress is going to be in. So for those friends, you might charge a little bit more cake in order to take that dress because there's just some unknowns in the transaction. The next factor is how long that person is going to borrow this little black dress. This is your prized possession. So if they're just going to borrow it for a weekend, you might not require very much interest, cake. But if they're going to take it for a full year, that might require a little bit more cake in order to make that transaction possible. Additionally, from your friend's perspective, they might be looking at several friends in order to find the perfect little black dress. Maybe some of their friends don't require as much cake as others. So it will depend on how many little black dresses are available. That guides how much cake is dispersed to the selected black dress lender. So this is a silly example, but it does mirror some of the same principles that we have with bonds. You want to know how risky the lender is, how much time they're going to have it, and how much interest they're willing to pay. A little black dress is not as susceptible to the ups and downs of the fashion industry. Likewise, a bond is not as susceptible to the market's ups and downs because it's lending money to a company. It's not ownership of a company. Obviously, with only 3 minutes on the clock, I'm not going very deep into the details of a bond, but I did just want to give you the basic structure of a bond so that you feel more confident and comfortable going into that meeting with your financial advisor and talking about the investments that you have. Or if you don't have a financial advisor and you are looking for someone to talk to, I'd be happy to continue the conversation. There are details at the end of this video in how to get connected. Because there are both aggressive bonds and conservative bonds, there's not really a blanket statement to say exactly where they are found in investments. But for those conservative bonds, it can be a nice way for retirees as they're landing the plane into retirement to have a little bit more safety in their investments because they're not as susceptible to the market's highs and lows. There are some additional risks associated with any investment, and you need to make sure that you fully understand those risks before you get involved with one. So with all of that, I will leave you and you take care.